So, final year medical school exams. Let's talk about it. For me, this was one of my most focused exam seasons, I think, in my whole life. And now that I'm obviously more mature, I recall high school, but just now more than I'm an adult, I think this was my most focused exam season. And that's because of a lot of reasons and a lot of things that I've applied and just where my mind state has been at with final year, right? So I decided at the beginning of the year that, I am going to stop with the things that I'm doing on the side and, all my side hustles, and focus on academics this year. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And recently, actually started last year reading the 5 a.m. Club, and I've started implementing that, and it played such a big and crucial role in the outcome and just my focus of my exams, right? So I think what kept me going, I'm going to talk about a couple of things now. So I'm going to talk about stress during exams, routine, procrastinating, distractions, results, work ethic, studying and planning. Okay, so those are the main 7 points. So number 1 is that I planned. So I actually made a list. I was like, okay, this is the number of exams I have, and it was actually 7 exams for this period. So these are my mid-year exams. So 7 exams. This is my study plan. These are the topics that I need to study, and this is how this is going to go, because now I have my exam schedule and I know how to go about it. So that really helped, and I had this up on my wall, so every single day I can see it. Like when I look on my wardrobe, it's there. When I look on my wall, when I look on my calendar, it's all in all 3 places. Cool. So that really helped me a lot, and it's good to see that visually every day. And the most amazing feeling with that is just having to tick it off once it's done. So that feels good, and the more you tick off, the more you're like, okay, I'm working, I'm achieving results, and I'm getting by and I'm surviving. So that's great. Self-care. So I had to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So I knew that it was going to be hectic 2 weeks, and it's long. So for me it was actually even 3 weeks, because there's an exam that we wrote earlier, and so that's a long time to be on high energy, high mental focus the whole time and still be fresh for exam in order to think and apply all the knowledge you've been learning. So I had to maintain a routine, which is where the 5 a.m. club comes in, right? Excuse me. So this really just changed the ball game for me. I made sure that every single day during exams, except for weekends, I woke up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. It's actually quarter to 5, and then I exercise for 20 minutes. I meditate and journal for another 20 minutes, and then I start studying after that. So I make sure like the first 1 hour and a half of the day I'm fully focused on my studying, and then I'll take a break, maybe have breakfast, and then do other things after that, and then get back into the studying. But just making sure that the first hour of my day is 100% focused. That's before I even touch my phone, before I touch my laptop or anything, unless I'm studying from my laptop, of course. But I just make sure that I don't have any technology distractions. My first focus, the main thing that I start on is like my self-care. Make sure that I'm exercising, I get the endorphins running, and then I'm meditating, I'm journaling, getting my thoughts in place, having my day, getting in my zen, and then studying. So that really helps. So I knew that I had a routine every day, even though things would change. Some days are better than others when it comes to studying. I knew that I had this routine that I was following. Distractions. So I have a lot of distractions. My attention span is like this, I swear, so short. So I had to make sure that I manage my distractions. So the things that distract me, this device, my goodness. And I'm on social media. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's WhatsApp, and I'm on all these 4 social media platforms. And it's time consuming, and you keep checking and refreshing, seeing the same things, thinking you're gonna see something different, but you know very well that you won't. And just keeping up with what's going on around the country with COVID and everything, and whatever hashtags are trending, literally they're scrolling. So I literally had to try and control that. So what I did is that especially in the morning, so after my alarm goes on my phone, I check my phone, and then I put it outside my room. So I put it now like our living room, so I leave it on the table there, and then as I do my whole morning routine and start studying, my phone is outside. And then in between breaks I'll go chill on my phone and actually get out of my room and go and be in another space. and Candy Crush.
Delicious.
Candy Crush has been my distraction for many years, but this year I stopped playing Candy Crush and then I downloaded another game. Yeah, so it's similar to Candy Crush. I think it's Box Crush or Puzzle, something like that. And Temple Run is also just, and I think these things, even though they're not exactly exciting all the time, sometimes just because you're doing anything but studying, and it's just, yeah, it is, you know, those are one of the things that I manage. So that's also on my phone, so you know, the phone plays a very big role, so I had to take that out. Pomodoro. So some of you might know about Pomodoro. So this is when you apply yourself. So probably have your phone close by, but I've been using my laptop because I don't want my phone by. So I use the timer on my laptop, and you study in 25-minute intervals, right? Because especially if people with short concentration spans, you don't want to study for long periods, because then, you know, it gets tedious and you're tired and you're not really taking it in. But be sharp for 25 minutes, take 5-minute break, another sharp period, you know. So this actually helps me, like when I'm transitioning into my exam study mood and zone, I have to use that because that really helps me apply myself. And yeah, so I set the timer 25 minutes and I study straight 25 minutes with no distractions. And then after that 25 minutes, I take a break, maybe I'm on my phone, or I'm going to make food, coffee, sit outside, play with the kids. We have kids in our yard, so that's always like a nice little mood lifter. So yeah, Pomodoro, check it out. And then results. Whew. I'm very uncomfortable talking about this right now. I think I'll do a more comprehensive video on it once I'm done with medical school. You know, you work hard, you know, sometimes you work so hard and you know that this is what I'm working towards and these are the marks that I want and this is the effort that I'm putting in. Exam comes and you perform. You literally give the examiners exactly what they're looking for. You answer the questions and you feel like you do well, you know, you feel like you did really well, and you get good feedback as well, which is even more encouraging. And then the marks come back and it's just like, I actually thought I did better than that. So I had that with some of my exams, and that was very discouraging, that was very disheartening. And yeah, and you know, I just started speaking to a lot of people who've been through the same process that I'm going through right now, and the main thing they were saying is that that's literally what happens. You know, like there's nothing better we can tell you. But I think the journey that I'm on now, and some of the things that they advise, is just being able to separate yourself from your marks. Yes, we want good marks and we should aim for good marks. We should, you know, want to get brilliant marks and get the marks that we actually deserve and worked for, right? But also just know that they don't define you, and I'm not there yet, but that's something I'm working on, like just realizing that my marks don't define me. You know, sometimes you work hard and it's just unfair, the system is just unfair and you just don't get the marks that you deserve. But also realizing that they don't determine whether you're going to be a good doctor or not. When you get there and you're doing internship, no one's going to ask you, so how many cum laudes did you get, you know, how many A's did you get when you were in varsity? And you know, so just knowing that you're still going to be a good doctor regardless of whether you get the marks you deserve and worked for or not. And that life is unfair, and sometimes it's really like what you really work for isn't what you actually get. And for me, that's a very hard pill to swallow. I'm not ready to accept it. And yeah, so that's a journey and just a process that I need to deal with. And yeah, I also just don't want it to distract me from my actual goals, you know. I'm still keeping that in mind, but also still being aware of other people's reality and experience and my recent experience as well. And stress. So it's stressful. It is extremely stressful. There's a lot of pressure. You have to perform, you have to work hard. And I think it's great that our exams are split out, you know, into like 3 weeks, but that's still also a lot of time and a lot of strenuous work. So, yo, it was very stressful. I think for me, I'm so grateful that Klami is with me. So like, she's literally been my pillar. We were crying together. We're celebrating together. So literally emotions have been a roller coaster during exams. But what has kept me going, and even though I'm stressed, like the routine thing, I cannot tell you how important a routine is and what a valuable thing it's been for me during this experience. You know, it's something that I really would just want to carry on with for the rest of my life, to be quite honest. It's helped me so much. So yeah, so that's my reflection from the previous exam period. I think I'm so glad for the focus that I've had, and you know, just the mental energy that was in the mental space, and I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed exams, as stressful as it was, as demanding and uncomfortable as some of the things were. I put myself out there and I enjoyed the process. Like with every exam, and a lot of them were on my laptop, so it's video calls with examiners, and most of them we had 2 examiners, sometimes there's 3. And I'm literally like, I'm calm, you know, because I've studied and I know my work. And then when the exam comes, you know, 10 minutes before I have to log into the Teams or Zoom meeting, I literally have to breathe a bit because the nerves start coming in, and that's only normal, you know, nerves are fine. And then I actually set the scene as well. So I light up my candles, make sure that my desk is clear. I have a piece of like notebook or paper to write on, and a pen, of course. My favorite pen, So I always make sure that I have that with me, and then I'm just ready. So I'm just setting the scene. I make sure the lights are just where I want them to be. It's quiet around me, and I have to breathe until I press that enter meeting or join meeting button. And yeah, so I'm just in a very happy space, and I'm glad I'm able to, you know, to sit down and reflect and talk about this. And there's actually a video I shot on this when I was crying. Oh my gosh, because it was like, there was a point where I was just like, no, I don't know how I'm going to make it, and I actually made it through, you know. So I'll share that sometime soon, probably maybe after my final exams. So we'll see. So yeah, this was only just mid-year, and then final exams are coming up in October and November. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. I hope you're studying well if you are studying and are still a student. And I hope, you know, you're going to apply some of the things that I spoke about now and see if it helps you and see if it works out for you. And all the very best. Give it your all. If you don't get the marks that you want, that's still okay. Just pass, and you know what, we're going to be great professionals in whatever field we're working in. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. From me to you, goodbye.